Hey there, this is John Terre, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I welcome you to another edition of Chamber Chat, which is our weekly opportunity to chat with our Boulder business community and our Boulder Chamber members about all the important work that we're doing to support your business and to lift the Boulder economy, but also to have a chance to talk to some of our leaders in our community about the things that they're doing, again, to support our community and our economy during this COVID-19 response period. And so today I have the great pleasure of having a chat with my good friend, the Chancellor of the University of Colorado, Phil DiStefano. But before I get started with him, I just have a couple of things I want to just tell you about what's going on at the Boulder Chamber. So first, just a reminder that on July 30, we have our wonderful golf tournament, which is going to be at the beautiful Lake Valley Golf Course. It's presented by Blue Federal Credit Union, great partners with us, and it's going to be a glorious, fun experience, and we're going to make sure that we do it safely. So be sure to sign up those foursomes or singles, whatever have you. Make sure to get online and get started, because otherwise you're going to miss out on a great experience, and I guarantee you we're going to have some fun and a few surprises. The second thing I want to remind you, boulderchamber.com/COVID-19. That is your resource for all information and updates on our current response activities associated with the COVID-19 crisis. Also, all the information about how to get your business up and operating, and great videos that we are producing with Boulder County Public Health that answer your questions, industry specific, about how you can operate safely, but also make sure to start your business successfully. So remember that, boulderchamber.com/COVID-19. And then just to also be clear, because some have asked us, the Boulder Chamber is operating. We are back in business full time. In fact, we have been the whole time, but we're going to do it safely. So our building isn't open at this time, except for specific appointments. But just know that we are in business for you. We're making sure that we're building those business connections. We're advocating for your business interests, and we're continuing to support our economic vitality. So Boulder Chamber in business for you. And so now it's my chance to talk to my good friend Phil, who is now in his 11th year as Chancellor of the University of Colorado Boulder. And I mean, I've just been so impressed with his leadership of our campus. And he's seen a number of different, I'm sure, interesting challenges, but nothing more complex and more, I'd say, consequential as this COVID-19 experience. And he has led the campus through this initial response period. But now I just have a few questions about going forward. And so just my first question to you, Phil, I know that you're working very hard to balance the opportunities to give an enriching experience for the CU students, but you're also going to be working very hard to make sure that it's a safe environment for the students, faculty, staff, and for the community. And so maybe, Phil, if you can just tell me, what are the current plans for the operations in the fall?
Great, John, and thank you. And also, I'm so glad to be here with you. But let's go back to May 26th, when I announced a flexible plan to begin classes on campus as scheduled on August 24th, but finishing remotely after Thanksgiving. It prioritizes health and safety considerations required to minimize risk. The plan has protocols for quickly shifting gears as necessary based on local conditions and safety considerations to state, the county, the city, and their guidance. The plan was developed in consultation with CU Boulder faculty and community, epidemiology and public health experts. We're lucky to have access to individuals like Nobel laureate Tom Cech, highly experienced individuals, and many other experts on the staff to really help us develop a comprehensive plan. It was also informed by more than 1,500 points of input from students, faculty, staff, parents, who are very important, of course, and of course, our community members. And this fall, we'll really focus on three major COVID areas. One is making sure that we have a COVID-ready campus. Academic instruction is second. And third, aligning our campus resources to support this plan. So let me just talk briefly about each one of these areas individually. So the COVID ready campus is a robust set of mitigation measures. And these include on-campus capability for testing of students, faculty, and staff, both to continuously monitor for the potential spread and to test individuals who have symptoms. Also, campus-based rapid response team, the teams for tracking, for notification, and isolation of infected individuals, and mandatory safety training for on-campus faculty, staff, and all students. That includes physical distancing, wearing face coverings, sanitation, and following public health orders on events and public gatherings. And so one of the things that we're doing, and I can talk a little bit more about this later, is to update our student code of conduct and related policies to include compliance with public health requirements so that students are very aware of this newly emphasized change and potential consequences if they're found to be in violation. And we're doing just a few things of requiring masks for all of our students and employees in the fall, reducing density, facilitating small cohorts of students, building control measures such as physical distancing in all campus classrooms and learning spaces. And we're continuing remote work arrangements for many of our employees. So that's the first part. And let me go through the next two fairly quickly.
Sure.
The second is the academic instruction and providing environmental safety in classrooms and throughout the campus through physical distancing, class scheduling, and other administrative controls. So for example, we're going to have some classes that will meet in person, some distance learning, and some what we would call a hybrid, a little bit of both. We're going to reduce the density of students in the classroom, and we're going to extend scheduling for the entire day from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And that's going to decrease the student density on the campus. And what's really interesting is enrolling our first-year students in classes with small cohort groups that live and study together, and that reduces the number of their regular contacts. And then finally, the resource alignment. That's part of the plan to support investments in health and safety protocols. And we're investing in testing, masks, training, supplies, public awareness, investing in instructional technology, and making sure that we have return to work guidance and childcare needs to accommodate our populations.
So I'd say amazing, Phil, that the planning that's going into your operations for next year. And I will tell you that it's really encouraging, just as the Boulder Chamber cares so deeply about the economic impact that the university has on our community, that you are thinking strategically about how you can get the university back up and running and do it in a manner that's going to continue the safety for our community and for the health of the students. But along those lines, you mentioned the code of conduct for the students. And one of the issues that they have been facing, or we have been confronting as a community, is the concern about some of the activities on University Hill, some of the more, we call it youthful behaviors. I think, you know, when we were youth, we called it something else, but whatever, youthful behaviors. And so question is, you know, how is the university playing a role in helping to address those types of concerns?
Thank you, John. That's a very important question. And the first thing that I would say is we support the city's June 19th civil enforcement plan to pursue abatement at residential properties for violation of public health orders and preventing really the kind of parties we saw on the Hill around graduation, Memorial Day. Our Office of Off-Campus Housing and Neighborhood Relations is working very closely with the Boulder Area Rental Housing Association to engage property owners in managing tenant behavior. And as I mentioned, the Student Code of Conduct has been updated, and this will help hold students accountable and is one of the many tools I believe that will keep our community safe. We're definitely going to have ongoing monitoring and testing. We're going to do something called pool testing. It's a strategy to detect the early presence in large populations. So we can go up to fraternity houses, sorority houses, places up on the Hill. And then, increase collaboration between our Boulder Police Department and the CU Police Department to provide more information to our Office of Student Conduct when they know the identity of one of our students or more who are not complying with health ordinance. So those are some of the steps that we're taking, and my commitment is to work in collaboration with the city, to have our police department work in collaboration with Boulder Police so that we can keep our community safe.
I love it, Phil. I know you and your staff team have just been great partners with the community in thinking through these challenging issues. And so one other question for you, Phil, and just thinking about how the community engages with the university and what an important resource it is for us from a cultural attraction opportunity, from the athletic events. So wondering what do you see as those opportunities for the community to engage with the campus starting in this fall?
Yes, so actually, one thing that we're doing, John, is next week on July 1st, next Wednesday, we're holding a virtual community town hall from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. To discuss our fall plans, just as you and I are discussing it today, and answer questions. And I really do encourage chamber members to join us, which can be done by signing up by going to colorado.edu events/events calendar for July 1st. And second, at this point, all events on campus remain canceled through July 31st. And I get more questions about football than anything else.
Not just from me, but yeah.
But for football, it's probably going to be sometime in mid-July before we have a better idea of what football is going to look like on the Boulder campus. And obviously for all events, it's going to really depend upon the state and the county requirements. And what this all tells you is that this is a very large logistical project that we're working on, and plans and procedures continue to develop. So if you want to know the latest, you can sign up for our weekly COVID digest by going to www.colorado.edu/today/subscribe. And John, I just want to thank you so much for letting us get this message out to the business community.
Oh, Phil, again, you're a great partner and a friend, and I just so appreciate the time you spent with us chatting about what is such a critical element of our economic vitality, as well as just our community quality of life. I'm sitting here on beautiful campus, and I'm reminded what a special place this is in the heart of our community. So thank you for your leadership and for your partnership as we get through this difficult COVID-19 period. And so just to our Chamber Chat viewers, a couple of announcements. Again, reminder, July 30, the Boulder Chamber Golf Tournament. It's going to be a special event. Get out there. Let's burn off some steam and just have some fun together safely. Second, just want to remind you that the Boulder Chamber, we are open for business. So what does that mean? That means reach out to us. You have challenges You have questions, come reach out to us. We are there available for you as your advocate, as your business support partner, and helping to lift our economy. And of course, we're going to do it safely. So we ask you, as our Boulder Chamber members and business community, make sure that as you're opening your business and as you're starting to engage in our economy, that you're doing it safely, because that's the way we're going to continue to go forward and keep our economy strong on a forward positive trajectory. So that means that we're going to ask that you keep that social distancing, that you wear your face mask when you're out in the community, right? And of course, it means being responsible in all ways and spreading that message to your friends. So the last thing I'll say is we're going to move to a bi-weekly chamber chat schedule, and that way we can continue to have solid content for all of you. But that means that we're going to take a break next week during the July 4th weekend holiday. So have a great break, enjoy some downtime, and we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.